Hi, it's Mama Rose, and it is the 12th of June, 2020. And I haven't really been doing a whole lot on the YouTube, but I've been continuing to do what I do. And we're on a frozen kefir kick right now, where I'm making frozen kefir. So I'm making the kefir first, and I posted some videos of one like 2 years ago that's, got quite a few hits on it, and I covered just about everything. And I wasn't real happy with it, so I redid it, but it seems to have taken, because it's got quite a few views on it, for me at least. I don't know if it's got 200 on there yet or whatever, but it's got quite a few. And you can see how much chunkier I am when I videotaped that. And I'm not sure if that was a year and a half ago. I can't remember exactly. But I forgot to get something. I was going to get something. But I wanted to kind of just chat a little bit. This is what the routine that I've been doing. And I have these containers that I've been straining my kefir, and I make my kefir. And I've been doing it with these packages. Let me get it. This one got a little crunched. And I'm not sure how, I wanted to kind of do this video because I'm not sure how long you can keep using a little bit of your old batch to make your new batch. I know that when you're making the kefir with the kefir grains like this, these are freeze-dried, they will keep on growing. I gave my last batch to somebody. They came to visit, and I said, okay, go ahead and take it. So I have to rehydrate these and get them going and wake them up. And that takes 2 or 3 days or 4 days to really get them so they're really making good kefir milk. And you don't use that milk along the way, from what I understand. So whenever I'm trying to wake them up, the first 1 or 2, at least first batch I awaken with these, I don't use. And then I also learned from experience that when I rehydrate these, I do them with distilled water or some kind of purified water that I've purified, but I don't do them with milk. I did them with milk once, and they didn't like it. So you want to rehydrate them with water, some kind of purified water. And then once you've done that, go ahead and start making your milk with your kefir grains. And the kefir grains, the milk that you get from kefir grains, live kefir grains, is a little bit different profile than the one you get from this. This will keep on going forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It'll just keep multiplying. When I got this, I had, oh boy, I think let me see if I can portion out what I actually got. I got very, very little. I think I had like this much when I originally got these grains, and I just kept making them and multiplied to more than this. I've given them away, and I've rehydrated some to make them. I'm getting low, so I need to do another batch. But I ordered those online live, not freeze-dried, and those are great because you don't have to boil the milk. You just keep on taking it out, the grains out, upside down, and putting them in again. These, however, you will not last forever, and eventually they will not continue to perform. And I wasn't sure how, and I've done it like a dozen times at least, and it keeps on thickening the yogurt or the milk. But with this, you do have to bring the milk. I've got some right over there. I accidentally got it to boil, which is fine. It still works. But normally 187 degrees, you get the temp up to that. Just set the pan aside, let it cool down to room temperature, 76 degrees, 75, 76 degrees. Fahrenheit, I think it's like 25 degrees Celsius. And then you go ahead and either mix some of your last batch, and the ratio that I think I'm using is like a half a cup to each quart is what I'm doing. So you're going to use a whole cup for a gallon, and you can use more. It'll just culture faster. But I noticed now that after I did that for quite a while, I had it going for a long time, probably a month or two. But I noticed that it tasted fine. but I love smelling it. It just smells so good to me. And I noticed the smell wasn't as good. It wasn't as potent. It smelled more like the kefir that I get from Kefir grains. It's just a sweeter smell. So anyway, I thought, well, I'd just do another batch of it. So if you're finding that it's not tasting as good, this is so thick. Look at this. It's so thick. You probably can't see how thick that is. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and show you, because I'm making a gallon at a time. So, because we're making the frozen kefir. So no longer can I keep using, like this doesn't do that much. I can do, let me see. Probably, we'll see how much I can do. I'm going to start emptying these the way I do it. And I have a coffee filter in here. I use it over and over again until it falls apart. I have 2 of them that I put together and splash a little water on it and then just spread it in here. So you lose a little bit of that. So I'm going to empty that in there. We lost the top to this one here. Put that over there. And we're fasting today, so I can't even lick my fingers here. So, but we're making lots of frozen kefir, and it doesn't seem to be affecting our blood sugar or our ketones. And so this is it right here. Look at. I use this big, giant, huge one, and I don't even think there's going to be room in here to hold it. This one, a lot of times I do have to do the filters over again. Let me move this over so you can see better. Yeah, because it's just so much. So I do this one here. I think I'm going to replace my filters. My gosh. Yeah, I'm overflowing here. So this is just, normally it's not this messy. And I just cleaned my counter off, so we're really good. Get all this out of here. So what I do with this now, let me get it out of the way here with my hands off. I'll show you how I do the filter now. I'm going to set this aside for now because I've got to flavor it. And I think I will do a little one. I'll do another video in a minute on flavoring it. And I'll post it. How to flavor your frozen kefir. Boy, we are having so much fun with the frozen kefir. Every day we make a batch and we eat some of it fresh. And we freeze some in little tubs. And we are, it's just been good. And it's sugar-free. I'm not using any, just using erythritol and a monk fruit that I use. And then whatever flavorings, and I'll show you that in a minute. So let me get a couple coffee filters, and I'm just using the ones that don't have the dye on them. So I think I'm going to use 4 of these maybe. So I'm just going to wet them a little bit so I can get them in here to stay in place. There's 1. There's 2. And the more you line this, the better you line this, the easier your cleanup is going to be. And like I say, normally I can use these more than once. But you're going to see. I mean, when you're making this much, the only thing I do is, if I think about it, I'll go in and out. This is usually full of whey, which is a clear liquid. You can see some of it in there that comes from the it being dripping from the milk itself, the cultured milk. And I'm going to go ahead with this whole, this is a ½ gallon jar, and you're going to see how thick it comes out. See, look at that. And so there, I'm not messing around. I used to have a bunch of these containers, coffee filter thingies and everything. You watch my videos, and I got them all over the place, and then but this was like the bomb. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I just take this saran wrap, and you don't even have to use a new piece every time, and just kind of tuck that in. And you're going to see as it drains, it's going to kind of separate a little bit from the sides, and it's probably already draining. Look at how it's draining already, just the clear whey. That's all that's going to come through here is the clear whey. So I might go in, leave this just for a little while, and then dump it. That way, if you want a really dry cheese, then you don't want it soaking in the whey. And so you want to dump the whey out, you know, maybe in an hour or two, get a lot of it out so that it never is sitting in the whey itself. So this was an extra Instapot pot that I had, you know, liner that I had. And this was just a cheap, you know, thing. I don't know if I got it at Walmart or whatever. I think it might have even come with a couple in the package, but it's really pretty big. But you can improvise. Look around your house and see what you have. You'd be surprised at what you can come up with. It doesn't even have to be a strainer. You can use the your big spaghetti strainer if you have that. As long as you line it with the coffee filters. Or a fine kind of a cheesecloth, or maybe an old t-shirt, something that you strain with. And so now you can see with these are not going to hold as much, so I don't really mess around with them as much anymore. So we got one. Maybe it'll do two. Now I am going to save some of this because I'm going to make another batch. So I've got a whole cup that I have saved in here. And I'm going to use that for my next gallon. So a half a cup for each quart. And there's 4 quarts in a gallon, or a fourth of a cup for each of the starter for each quart. So I'm doing 4 quarts equals a gallon. So I'm going to do 1 cup of starter for that, to culture that. So it smells so good. It just smells so yummy. Oh, I love the way it smells. So when you first do it, take a gander at how it smells, and then if you're not liking the smell anymore, you know, I would start to smell it and think, you know what, this smells, it doesn't smell bad, but it just wasn't smelling as sweet. It's kind of like a sweet sour smell when it's fresh. So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and start all over again, and you know, use the packets. And I used 4 of those packets, and I made I made another bunch, a gallon. Now I won't have to do that for a long time, and if you don't want to use that many, I just wanted to get it over with, and I had a lot of them. I ordered them online from somewhere, and I ended up with a lot of them. So, but if you don't want to do that, you could just do 1 packet, which does a quart. And then once that quart is done in like 12 hours, it shouldn't take that long, then you can save some of that and then make another batch. I just, like I said, I was bad. I was wasteful. I just went ahead and used them all. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put these in. I saved this jar. I just put it in the refrigerator because it's got good stuff all over it. And I know when I go to do the next batch, I'm going to need 2 of these. So I stick these in the refrigerator, and then once my milk is cooled enough, I'll put it in here, and I'll shake it all up and get all that goodness out of there. And then I'll do the same thing with this, and then I dump them into my pot, mix it really, really good, and then I might use a funnel or something, and I'll go ahead and fill these up again. I put them down in my dark cupboard that I use, and then tomorrow morning at the same time, when I'm you know, getting the milk to the right temperature again, 187 degrees, I'll go ahead and process this all over again. But in the meantime, I'm going to put these in the refrigerator. If you're not letting them culture, you want to put them in the refrigerator so they don't go bad. And then what I do is, let me get my stuff over here. And I have all kinds of fancy machines, but I end up using my cheaper one. So this is a Ninja, and I like it because it's got all the blades all the way up the top. Now, last night when I made our ice cream, I had some strawberries left, so I put strawberries in the bottom, just whole, and I went with it. But I don't have any strawberries, so just to kind of give you an idea, let me go get a couple of things here of what I might use for seasoning, for flavoring. Here. Oh, and I got another good one I gotta get. Let's see. I feel like Rachel Ray over here, getting all her stuff out. chocolate. There's this. And there's this. Okay. And there's this. Oh my gosh, there's so much to get. I should shut the cupboard. Okay, we like to shut the cupboard. So I'm kind of getting creative with how I flavor these things and what I put in the ice cream when I make it. So first of all, I'm going to take our Kefir cheese, and I need a big spatula for that. All right. There. Let's get that in there. I'm going to go ahead and do this ahead of time because really when you're doing it and blending it up and everything and putting in dry ingredients, you know, you are raising the temperature of it, and it really likes to be cold when it goes in the ice cream freezer. But I don't always do that. You know, if this were like around dinner time and we weren't fasting, or around the time we were going to eat it, I wouldn't mess with it. I would just go ahead and do it, and it would be fine. A lot of times if we want it a little firmer to eat, I'll put it in the small containers, and then I'll put it in the freezer for a half an hour or an hour, and then we'll go in and it'll be frozen a little bit more. But we usually eat a bowl of it, fresh, soft serve, and then about an hour or two later, we'll go in and get a little container of it, and we'll eat that. So I'm pretty much filling it up. I've got a lot more here. I'll go ahead and clean that up. I've been making it. I went away on a little trip, and I lost my momentum, and so when I got back, I had to, every day I've had to boil milk. We're just on a kick. So I found different things. What I found for a really super creamy frozen kefir, I had a bunch of these left over from when we first started keto. They used to come in the mail automatically, and then I stopped using them, and then I finally canceled my subscription. But this is a plain, this is no flavor, and that's probably what I'm going to end up putting in here, just for the creaminess of it and just to give me the extra MTC powder, or MCT, medium chain triglyceride, just to help with the ketones. This is not, if I were to go buy some MCT powder, I would buy the Garden of Life. I think that's the one I like now. This one, I had some, the Two Fit Docs did a thing on all the different MCT powders and what affected their blood sugars, and this was not the greatest, so, and what's in it. So, but I do have several of these, so I do use that. And I also had a bunch of these, which are I think it's a peach flavor, peaches and cream, and it's really good. And it's good for you, it's fine. This one makes a really nice ice cream too. I'll use this for the flavoring. I'll do that. The other day I wanted to do chocolate, so I did chocolate, and plus I added raw cacao to it to get a chocolate ice cream. I'm still experimenting on a chocolate that I really like. I haven't found, I like a really dark chocolate, and I do have some dark chocolate liquid stevia that I buy, and I ran out of it, or I would show you the bottle, and I'm waiting for it to come. It's by this company, the Better Stevia company. And these are great liquids, too, to use when you're flavoring. In fact, I might put a little bit of this French vanilla in here. Instead of using just vanilla extract, you can use some of this. And then also my powders that I make the electrolyte drinks out of. And we just discovered these come in these, if you go online, these come for like $39. You can get these huge ones. I think the orange was only $30, which I love the orange. The orange makes a great orange Julius. You mix it with the vanilla and the orange and just keep tasting it till you like it. And it's like having a creamsicle. It's really good. The watermelon is a new flavor to us. We really like that. I haven't made it in an ice cream yet, but it's really yummy. one of my favorite flavors to use is Dr. Gundry's Vital Reds, and they're quite expensive to buy these. I think they're $40 or $50 for this little thing. So this is my last one, and I'm not really sure how much more I'll be using this. But there are other flavors in the electrolyte powders that you can use as well. Another favorite of ours is the caramel. Now this Sweet Drops, this caramel here, it tastes like butterscotch. We just love it. So a lot of times we'll flavor our ice cream with this here and make a butterscotch flavor as well. So I don't think I've tried this one yet. I don't think I will. This was one of our favorite flavors right here, but it's blueberry, and I don't know, it doesn't seem very appealing to me as an ice cream. But, so what I'll do is I'll figure out the flavor that we're going to use, and then I just buzz it up, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator. These happen to come, this machine, I take the blade out, and then I just put the cover on, and then when I'm ready to process the ice cream later, or the frozen kefir later, then I'm all ready to go, and I go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead. I still haven't figured out what flavor I'm going to use. This is another one that I've used to flavor it. So if you have any kind of favorite shake mix or anything like that, and you want to flavor it with that. And also there's a bunch of other flavors. Let's see here. Let me get a couple that these Sweet Drops come in. They're all, this is pumpkin spice. This is vanilla cream. I think I'm probably just going to do like a vanilla flavor for this batch here and just keep it simple because I'm out of strawberries. So anyway, but they've got hazelnut and Valencia orange and all kinds of these stevias that have a pretty strong flavor. Not quite as strong as this one, but they have a strong flavor, and you can go ahead and flavor your kefir. If you're making a kefir shake and just using it for milk, or you're making the kefir cheese. And then, so I am going to do a video. I'm going to post it here. I'm going to make some kefir cheese that's in olive oil that you can use as a dip. And look for that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. In fact, as soon as I'm done with this one, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on. So I'll have the same outfit on. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and hit the bell so when I do finally post something, you'll know. And I am going to put a little talk on because we kind of went off keto and carnivore for, you know, like a week or two, and getting back on and how that went. So look for that. I'm going to go ahead and post that as well. Thanks for watching.